other good bills too. We passed the one that the governor doesn't like, is the castration bills of little kids. And you know what our legislator did? They overrode it. I want you to thank them for that, because they need to override this governor's emergency order. They need to override his mask mandates. We do not need to let this go another day of letting this governor and the rhinos in this bunch to torment us for another year. Do you understand? I mean, this is serious. It's just like Jan and my daughter and the rest of us say. If we don't fight now, our kids can't fight. We have to fight for them. I want to know something. We're sitting there and they're passing these restrictions on us. What about all those illegal aliens coming streaming across the southern border that hadn't been vaxxed, that hadn't had the vaccination, that have not been checked, and they're sending them all over the country right now. And they wonder why the numbers keep going up.
Our money.
And using your money to do it. That's right. That's wrong, y'all. You can't tell me that you're going to put restrictions on Americans and then turn down there and the southern border and you pack them on buses and pack them on airplanes, you send them all over the country, and you're not even checking. And many of these legislators in these other states and stuff don't even know that they're there. They just show up. I'm wondering how many are here in Arkansas. How many do you think? We're not that far from Texas. I mean, they can walk here. They walk that far. They can surely walk to Arkansas, can't they? How many of you noticed in the restaurants and stuff? How many of you noticed the hypocrisies? How many of you noticed the inconsistencies? Let me give you an example. Senator Dan Sullivan was up here. He was in the committee and he asked the health department, the head of the health department here in Arkansas. He said, do you have the data that supports mandating a mask and closing down and restricting small businesses that actually helps to curb the virus, to spread the virus? And you know what the department head said? He said, I'll get it to you. Mm-hmm. Now that was a pretty good while ago. Fact is, 6 months or better ago.
Yeah, they don't
he still hasn't received any data, any verifiable data that can tie to it. It's because he doesn't have it. He cannot have it, and that governor can't have it, and the school boards and the education, the Association of Education doesn't have that data. They can't prove, they cannot empirically approve, or improve, I mean, man, y'all get me excited. You know, I sit up here and I listen to my daughter, and I'll get back to the subject in a minute. I listen to my daughter, and I listen to Jan, and I listen to others when I talk to, when I go around Arkansas, and I get misty-eyed. That's why I'm wearing these sunglasses, because you ought to see the mist in my eyes right now. But you know why? Because I care for this country. I care for the Arkansas. This is my home, and this is where we take a stand. Does it make sense? What I recommend is do your own research, right? Ask questions. The way you lead a narrative, let me tell you the way you lead a narrative. You don't go attack people. You don't attack people straight on. These legislators up here, you don't attack them straight on and be hostile toward anybody. It doesn't matter who you're talking to. If they have opposition, ask questions. Because you lead the narrative. It puts them on the defense, and they have to come up with the data. They have to come up with the evidence. When you ask them, prove it. I met some folks here from up there near Missouri. Okay, they're up there around Walnut Ridge. These two girls right down here. They're from the Show Me State. You know what? We need to be a Show Me State here in Arkansas.
Sorry, folks, I gotta move.
We need to show these folks that they work for us. If one of them tells you to hush, you better go, whoa, throw their hand up and say, whoa. We have a problem right now with somebody understanding the voter or constituent and the legislators or the elected officials, that relationship is we are the people. We make this government up. And just like any business, it's your baby. And if we just allow them to just run it and we don't tell them what we want because we're the boss, guess what happens? It fails. It goes south on you. It does things just like this that's happening today and tomorrow and the next day. Let me tell you something. They pull tricks. These guys have tricks. Unless you get up here in these hallways and you get to the committee meetings, you won't know about those tricks, like sitting in there and staying silent whenever they call a representative's name and he doesn't vote. Like getting up and walking up like you got a phone call because you don't want to vote on that issue. You don't want your people, you don't want your constituents to know that you just didn't vote.